Well, 2026 is the devil's mouth. Make a big splash.
Or is it dead in the water? Find out next on the cutting room floor.
Dun, 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 dun.
Going in the cave. Why are sharks in here? What's up, misfits and metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Roseblood.
And today we are talking about The Devil's Mouth, currently streaming. I believe it's on Amazon Prime, if I'm right. Brand new Shark Fest summertime chomp chomp kind of movie.
Chomp, chomp.
But first, we have music all over the place. Go hook a band up, cutlikethismusic.com, sign up for our mailing list, and get our music. Rose, why don't we dive into this one? Why don't you tell them what it's about?
Oh, we gonna dive in, all right. This movie is about a group of friends. They're out for some fun in the sun in Thailand. They decide to go on this cave excursion. And unfortunately, this choice sets them on a clash with a deadly enemy.
What kind of enemy is
Oh,
that?
we talking about some sharks, okay? This is like the perfect
You mean
enemy
sharks
for...
in the water?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. You know where you won't find this one? In the water, okay?
You might find me poolside or in crystal clear kind of ocean water. If I can see through the water, then we can talk. If I cannot see through the water, don't expect me to hop in that.
Yeah, but also in a cave, I don't think I could ever see you in a cave. I don't think you would ever go there.
What am I doing in there? Why am I there?
You know, I've been on a lot of TV sets and film sets, and I gotta say, I would not want to be on this set, okay? This cast, I have to applaud them for the mere fact that they often spent 11 to 13 hours in the water shooting this movie. That's
Every day
crazy.
for 2.5 months.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That is so nuts to me.
I'm surprised that they didn't look waterlogged.
I know, right? They didn't look like raisins. You know what I mean?
For real. They did a good job in making sure they did not look waterlogged
For
somehow.
real, for real. You know, I thought it was hard enough on sets like, I had some friends that were on the set for John Wick 3, and of course, you know, there's a lot of rain in that, and it's just like, they got wet, and they ended up, you know, having to get paid a little extra for dealing with the hazardous conditions and stuff. But they were like, no, it was so cold and it was so wet. And I was like, nah, being in all of... So kudos to the cast already, right from the jump. You know what I mean? But let's talk about this cast. The cast is, we've got Catherine Newton as Sarah. We love Catherine Newton. She was in Freaky. She was in what we recently reviewed, Ready or Not 2. That was episode 98. She was also in the awesome Bloody Ballerina film, Abigail. And speaking of Bloody Ballerinas, her bestie in this film, and this film is about like their friendship with each other. These are kind of like two like slightly codependent besties, and her bestie is named Max. She is played by the awesome Lana Condor. She was in Pretty Lethal, and that was episode number 88 of the Cutting Room Floor. She's also in Deadly Class, and she was Jubilee in X-Men Apocalypse. They have a couple of other friends as well. We've got James, Greg, Adrian, Ryan, and their guide in this cave system, his name is Watt. And he's played by, let me see if I can, Taime Thapthimthong, something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know how to speak Thai. I know some languages, but that is one I'm just trying. I'm trying my best. I'm sure my pronunciation is terrible.
I'm gonna save your ears and not even try.
Yeah. I was just trying to give him his flowers, okay? Because he's working hard in this film. All right. So this group of friends is, like I said, they're led by Max, and she is very much like kind of like the alpha of the group.
A very stubborn person.
Yeah, very stubborn, very pushy. You know what I mean? Future tiger mom. You know, she's
always thinks that her idea is the best, that she has the best plan, the best idea, and
everybody just kind of has to fold and go along with it. So this is definitely very much exploring their friendship and, you know, and Sarah becoming kind of more of an adult and kind of learning more about life and, you know, who she is and and trusting in her own opinion and her own strengths, and not always bowing to the strong personality of her best friend.
Now they're in this cave system, and they have a little bit of issues. They get kind of far in. It's called the Devil's Mouth because it really does look like it. You know, you're swimming into, like, there's just all these jagged, like, stalagmites just sticking up and down.
Yeah, it look like
from
the teeth
cave.
of a shark.
So it really does look like you're kind of swimming into the mouth of something that's really big. So they're inside there, and of course, there's two paths to take. There's the green path, which they recommend, especially because of the weather that just happened recently around that area.
And the fact that these guys are all new divers. They've never done this before. So that's supposed to be like the nice, safe beginner path. But what path do they choose, Thorn Black?
Oh, they don't choose the easy, safe green path. They choose the hard, difficult red path because it won't be challenging enough. It'll be boring. Even though they're warned against this numerous times, don't take that path. Because of monsoon season, it's not really available anymore. And then she just, oh, we gotta do this path. We gotta, you know, like we were saying, she just kind of like steamrolls over everybody. And they take the red path. Oh.
Yeah, they're gonna regret that. They're gonna regret that.
So they're swimming, they're in, and stuff starts happening. They start seeing signs, they start feeling stuff, they start like getting turned around. Stuff starts happening in there. You know, and again, that comment from monsoon season arriving.
Oh, that's gonna come back to bite them.
Oh, that's
literally
gonna come back to bite them. And it's going to be the reason why dear old Jaws knows where they are.
So, let's talk a little bit. I know that you love to look at the behind the scenes and the making of. I know that this was interesting because it actually is shot. It's shot on a combination of sound stages that they made practical sets. So that devil's mouth opening and everything, that's actually real. That's a real set that they built and everything like that, which I thought that was super, super cool. Like I think that, you know, helps to set the tone of things. But not only did they do it in a soundstage, they actually did shoot this in real caves, in training where they train divers and stuff like that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about those caves?
They're real caves, and it's really dark in there, and some of the water is just black. You can't see through it at all. So they had to get extremely creative, building all these kind of boats and floaties and things where they can get lights just in the cave, and then figure out where and how can we put these lights around. And they were putting lots of lights around big rocks, around stalagmites, and then the back side of it to kind of give it like some kind of glow. They would try to get some lighting up top if they could, to just try to give like a hue, any kind of light. And they ended up going with a lot of headlamps in this movie. Instead, they were thinking of using a lot of flares. And the director was like, I think just lighting this thing with flares the entire time is going to get just very tiring to look at.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense because flares have a very specific color tone. It's that kind of like reddish orange kind of light and stuff. It's not the most flattering, and it's not something that you want like the entire time.
So they went with the headlights, and I think that was definitely a better call. And
I think
it
so
was
too.
Just interesting seeing the lighting challenges and how they had to be creative, including using some of the locals' knowledge for just different concepts and ideas of like, let's just take all these small lights, let's put them all together so we can make like a bigger light source, and do that a couple of times, and then put these at strategic places while we're having the cast come through. So, you know, they had some interesting challenges, including dealing with the actual weather that would just ruin certain days of their set because the weather would come in, it'd be raining, you know, you get waves coming in, you get currents coming in. People are supposed to be in one spot, but the current's pulling them like 30 meters that way.
Oh no.
So then they have to like, okay, well, we can't have that. What are we going to do? So they'll have like tethers on some of these guys, and they might be tethered to a boat that's like off camera or to a rock or something where they're going to stay in this section of the water so they can actually get the shots that they're trying to get.
Just imagining them just kind of like,
Yeah, they're like, ready, and where's our actor? They're 30 meters that way. What? The water dragged them away. You know, so there was some interesting challenges
That
they
is a
had
really
to
interesting
make this
challenge.
movie.
Didn't
Yeah,
you mention one where something about like when the tide comes in, like that they had to finish. They had some time limitations.
They
on
had
this
time limitations.
set.
When they were in the real caves, they were warned by the tide people that you have to be out by a certain time because the tide's going to come. And when it comes, you're going to stay there for the night. There's no way out.
Oh,
so
man.
either you're out before this happens or you got to stay overnight. That's it. All of you.
Oh,
Like, there's no
can I
two
tell
ways
you how
about
much
it.
I do not want to spend the night in a cave? Absolutely
The night
not.
in a cave that's pitch black with pitch black water.
And filled with water. No.
And
no,
batteries
no.
that you may not have enough power for. Even if I had enough power, I wouldn't want
No.
to spend overnight in
No.
one
No,
of these
thank you.
cave systems. Like,
No,
no,
thank you.
you.
No, thank you at all. No. So this is a perfect kind of good little summertime flick. And we like to rate via chainsaw here with 5 chainsaws. Be the masterpiece of survival horror. 1 chainsaw. You ain't even cutting a fin on that thing.
I don't think
okay?
you're even cutting open that can of tuna with that one chainsaw.
As a matter of fact, the shark is going to just use that 1 chainsaw to kind of, get the human remains out of its teeth. So, that being said, Thorn Black, how many chainsaws will you give to 2026's The Devil's Mouth?
I am going to give The Devil's Mouth, made in 2026, 3.5 out of 5 chainsaws. This is a cool movie. The stuff I like about it is it's shot well. We get a different color palette where the beginning is super just bright and luscious and vibrant, and just the scenery is amazing. They're on location in Thailand. Like, the
It's
scenery
super
is
sunny and beautiful. Yeah, they're
gorgeous.
like on the boat and
It
everything.
truly feels like I'm joining them on vacation at the beginning of this movie, and it makes me want to go and visit in Thailand, see some of these places myself. It's super
100%.
effective. And
100%.
then contrasted with the deep dark cave diving, the entire color palette just changes, and it's just dark and scary and not lit well, and things are swimming around, and what's that? What touched me? And then everything starts going wrong for the rest of the half of the movie. It's a cool movie, cool cast. They have some cool deaths in here. I don't think it's breaking any shark movie barriers or doing anything like
Well, I haven't seen many shark movies set in a cave.
Yes, not
So
many
that's about
set
it,
in the cave, but outside of that, and it was an enjoyable movie. But is it doing something I haven't necessarily truly seen, or something that like stood out that was just really like, oh, this is a groundbreaking? Not necessarily, but it's a very well done and enjoyable, well shot shark movie. And if you need something that you haven't seen that's new, there's something to consider. Rose, what are you going to give this one?
I am going to give 2026's The Devil's Mouth. Also, 3.5 chainsaws. Vroom. I actually thought that I actually had a lot more respect for the movie once I learned a bit about the making of, which is why I always like to check out the making of film. I'm just also very fascinated by films. I got to peek behind the curtain, being on some film sets and stuff like that. And it just created a kind of lifelong fascination with like, hey, but what did it actually take to make this movie? You know what I mean? And these people all went through a lot being on this set.
They really did.
They really did. And I respect the fact that
was a lot of hard work.
I respect the fact that they did it the way that they did it. I thought that they used a lot of clever methods. Like, for example, when the shark is chasing them and you see that shark fin, that's actually a real shark fin that's mounted on like an RC boat that they controlled so that people would actually know the proper way to see it. The proper way to like turn their head and like look and to give more of that realistic feel. They also, once they modeled the shark, because the shark is CG, once they modeled the shark, they actually made a soft silicone one so that they could actually have like it bite them and stuff like that. I thought that was really neat. I would have liked it if they used a giant animatronic like they used in Beast of War, which I thought was really amazing. So I think that's why I ended up more at the 3.5. You know, this is a really fun little popcorn summertime shark flick. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you want. It's just like a nice, simple shark movie. You know what I mean? And it's like, if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you want for the summertime, you know, this is going to deliver that.
Look,
and there's going to be some fun kills.
I feel like sometimes a movie can be enjoyable regardless of if it's the best movie you've ever seen or not. It doesn't always have to be the best movie you've ever seen to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think that all these characters had great chemistry with each other. They spent a lot of time hanging out together on set, and they kind of bonded. You could see in all like the kind of like interviews between them, they have a really good actual friendly chemistry. And like they actually in the beginning scene that you were talking about where they're on the boat and they're just like fooling around in that party vibe, that they actually were hanging out and like having a good, that some of that footage is actually just them really hanging out and having a good time and just fooling around and just being young and fun in the sun, which I thought was great. Like I thought that's like, it really, that's why it feels real, because that moment actually, some of those moments were actually just real moments that they were like, oh, this is perfect. We're here. We might as well get a little footage of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
you have your homework for the weekend. You're welcome. Once again, we are from the band Cut Like This. Like, subscribe, follow, comment. You know all the things to do. CutLikeThisMusic.com. Hook a band up, get some merch, sign up for that mailing list. Until next time, we are out.